Okay, welcome back. Uncut podcast with Jake Cutler, myself. Again, love all of the interaction on Twitter, on Instagram. We're getting some good ideas. I think we've had some good guests so far, but always looking to improve, always looking for feedback. We've got aliens, we have Bigfoot, we've got mushrooms, we have a weed guy, we have football, we've got all this stuff. Today we have big fan, huge fan actually. Kind of a little bit of a man crush on this dude, Riley Green, country artist, on tour with Dirks Bentley right now, doing his own arena tour coming up this winter or fall. I don't know where you fall on that. Just did an elk hunt in Montana. I saw on his Instagram. Kind of stalk him, but it's not a big deal. I won't tell him about that. But it should be a fun one. Great songwriter, up and comer. I don't know if comer is the right word. I think that's probably something short, but it's gonna be a fun one. Or at least gonna be a fun one for me. I hope you enjoy it, and let's get him in here. Riley Green in studio today. Thanks for coming out, bud.
Yeah, appreciate you having me.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good, man. It's quite a stretch from last year. We're back on the road and back touring, and sort of back to the real world for us.
Last year had to be tough.
There was a lot about it that was rough. You know, I mean, obviously not touring. That's something that's the most enjoyable part of what I do. But I had a lot more time to write. I had the best hunting season I'll ever have. I mean, it's funny. I tell everybody that I can't keep a girlfriend because I'm on the road 300 days a year playing shows. And then last year we don't play any shows, and I spent 25 days a month hunting.
Still no girlfriend.
Yeah, still no girlfriend. So it's tough, but I enjoyed the break. Got to spend some time at home and get back to writing a little bit more. So it was a very useful time for me.
Sure. I want to get into where you're at now, but I want to start kind of you growing up, because I think we have a lot of similarities of football, hunting, and all that stuff. And you grew up in Alabama, right?
Yeah, Northeast Alabama, Jacksonville,
Alabama. Played sports.
Yeah, I played football, baseball, and basketball, and then played a little football at Jackson State in college.
When did you start with music, and how?
I had a guitar as a kid. My granddaddy Buford, which was my dad's dad, was just a big fan of music. Just loved like old Merle Haggard, George Jones, and he had a Epiphone guitar that he just liked for us to try to play. Neither one of us could sing, neither one of us could really play, but we just enjoyed that. That was kind of our thing. And when I was probably 12 or 13, we turned his parents' house into a music hall. Started having a bunch of old people over every Friday night, and they would just play and sing, and I sat there and watched them make chords and figured out how to play,
So you figured out how to play just watching?
Yeah, it was
part.
by ear,
Yeah.
and I mean, but 3 chords you can play every country song there ever was from that era, so, and I mean, I just did it for fun, kind of with him. When sports kind of started to end for me in college, I started playing out in bars, started writing songs because I got tired of playing the same set every week, and very accidental success that people liked the stuff I was coming up with.
Was sports more prominent for you, like growing up, and like music was just kind of a hobby?
I would never say that I was a music guy growing up. Yeah, I thought it was cool. They'd let me have a free bar tab if I played at the local Mexican restaurant in town, so I just enjoyed doing that. I figured I'd be building houses my whole life. That's what I did, my daddy did, and had a little framing crew. I enjoyed that. So the music thing was definitely just something that I did as a hobby. The sports thing was kind of what I was real passionate about.
Absolutely. And did you grow up hunting?
Not really. My dad didn't care anything about hunting. He was all about working. That's what we did during the summer. If we weren't playing sports, which is 3 sports in school, we were pretty busy.
Yeah, I know exactly.
And then spent the summers working. So I can remember when I was about 16, meeting some guys from Talladega that had a duck hunting club in Arkansas. And we started going out there with them duck hunting, and that was my first passion. I fell in love with duck hunting. And started getting, I remember Google Earth came out. And we would get on the phone and find a little swamp and go put a kayak in the creek and try to get to it and possibly see a duck.
Yeah.
But we just really enjoyed that, me and a couple of buddies. And then I think bow hunting was the next big thing that got me. I mean, I killed a couple deer with a gun and enjoyed it, but when I found out about bow hunting and started really chasing them around, trying to figure out where they lived at and how to get in there on them. That was the next thing that got me.
Yeah. Yeah, bow hunting it's different because it's so personal. You're right there with them, and it takes. I mean, it's hard. It takes
a lot of things have to go right.
Everything has to go right.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I just showed you that video. Like to get a deer, 20, 30 yards from you. I mean, it's hard, and it doesn't work out very often.
Yeah, I tell people a lot that I think my passion for hunting kind of came from sports a little bit.
Yeah.
It was that competitive thing.
Absolutely.
It was me and my buddies when we weren't playing ball anymore, and it was going, oh man, I've got this many turkeys this year, or I got this deer that was this big, and it was that kind of thing back and forth. And now I think I enjoy it for a completely different reason. I've killed a few good deer, and I've had some good duck hunts and turkey hunts, and I just enjoy getting outside where my phone doesn't work and being away from everybody for a little while.
I'm going out to Montana actually tomorrow to elk hunt. I can't wait just to get away.
I just got back.
I know. I want to ask you about it. So I read something. You said your mom just hoped you make it to 22.
22 was the age. Yeah, she said if I lived to 22, her job was done.
What the hell were you doing before that?
I was a rowdy.
Doing what?
I just anything I could, anything I get in trouble with. I'm really fortunate that I didn't have the success I have in my music career at an early age. Early 20s, it had been tough.
You couldn't handle it.
I couldn't handle it. No, I mean I can remember.
How old are you?
32.
Okay.
Turn 33 next month. So, yeah, I just 22-year-old guy, played ball, played quarterback in college for a little while, played music in the bar, so I was just running around.
Oh, you're having fun.
Yeah, that's all.
That's what it is.
Good, clean family fun.
Yeah, I remember, because I grew up in a small town in Indiana, and, I remember I went to Vanderbilt here in town, and I remember getting here, and, Vandy's pulling from New York,
oh, I can't imagine
Texas,
coming here,
everything,
college,
California, and I got here, and we didn't have a lot of money growing up. Like, we were middle class, and I remember getting to Vandy and some of these kids, they're getting on private planes and flying out the weekend. I'm like, what in the hell is this?
Yeah.
And it was eye-opening, but it was a ton of fun, and it kind of expanded me, and school was rough the first couple of years because I was playing football. I'd have workouts in the morning, practice, and I was like, classes like this. I don't want to do this.
I figured it was like high school, and you could kind of go if you wanted to.
Yeah,
you got to go in college.
Gotta go.
Yeah, it was really eye opening for me when I signed my record deal. If I didn't do what I'm doing for a living, I'd be very sheltered. I didn't get out of town much.
Yeah.
And the places I did go were to hunt, and they were very rural areas up in the Midwest. But my record label got me a condo for a year. And
in Nashville?
In Nashville, yeah, in Midtown. And I stayed there for a year, and I had...
Where at Midtown?
It was right there by Winners and Losers, the Morris.
Oh, yeah.
I lived in the Morris for a year.
Okay.
And that was my first outside of Jacksonville living experience. And I had no idea what it cost. So the year's up, and my business manager's like, you want to get a place? You want to stay there again, re-up? And I said, well, how much is it? Like $2,200 a month. I'm like, I've seen the people that live there. How do they afford that? It's like college kids.
Yeah.
I mean, in Jacksonville, we were complaining about $600 a month rent, This was a one-bedroom, 1,100 square foot
studio.
So, yeah, it was very eye-opening for me what it cost to live in this town.
Sure. So you went to college. You stayed there. You graduated. You stayed there, or you?
No, I didn't get close.
Didn't come close.
What happened? My football career was pretty short-lived. I played quarterback. We had senior graduate, and a couple of guys couldn't stay out of trouble, and I ended up being a starter in 2008 in the spring. And then it was a year LSU won the national championship. Matt Flynn was a starter there, and they had a backup named Ryan Perilou.
Okay. Yeah. I know exactly.
He transferred to Jacksonville State.
Did he?
I was doing 7-on-7 drills, and
he showed up.
And coach come in there and said, "Hey, we signed Ryan Perilou from LSU because I think he was the MVP of the SEC championship that year. I don't know why Matt Flynn didn't play, but I mean, just big player coming out of high school.
Yep, huge player coming out of high school.
Yeah, and I think ranked right there behind Tebow. I think.
Yep.
So it was one of those bump back down to scout team deals for me. And right around that time, my dad had back surgery. Him and his brother framed houses together, and I talked to Coach Crow, took a semester off to go help his brother work, and I started making a little money. I started playing in bars, and I thought, man, I'm going to be rich doing this. No bills, so I didn't go back.
Did not go back.
Yeah.
So how'd you end up in Nashville? How'd they find you?
So I started writing songs. I would say somewhere around 2015, I started to Well, I was playing the same bars in Jacksonville.
So what happened from 2008 to 2015?
Just played every hole-in-the-wall bar there was in Alabama.
Just grinding.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a booking agent, manager, nothing. I had a little business card with my phone number on it, and I made a little CD in some guy's basement. I'd hand
That's
out.
a long ass time.
Oh yeah. There was probably 2 years in there where it got really monotonous to me. Like I probably would have quit doing it.
Why didn't you?
Well, it was pretty easy.
It was fun.
I think if I hadn't been framing houses on a roof in a hot sun all day, and I complained about playing guitar for a few hours, you know, and it was enjoyable. And like I said, I'm 20-something year old.
Yeah.
You know, girls seemed to like it. I made a little money, got to drink for free, so I kept doing it.
So for 7 years, you're framing houses, playing on the side, just living life.
Yeah, I mean, in the same bars every week. You know,
Really?
seeing the same people. Yeah, it would, you know, for $100-$150 a night.
All in Alabama?
Yeah, for the most part.
It
It was very word of mouth, so I started to get calls from some bars in Georgia and some stuff, and I can remember around 15, play the same places every week, and a guy called me from Iron City in Birmingham, which is a like 1,300 cap venue. And I remember I'd just seen Chris Stapleton play there, and it was like half full. And he said, "Man, I keep hearing your name. You want to come here and play?" And I'm like, "No, I mean, it'd be empty, you know."
Yeah.
And he stayed on me about it, and finally I went down there and played, and we sold like 1,260 tickets. I had no idea anybody knew who I was, but because of social media and Spotify and Amazon and Apple, I'd been putting music out, and I didn't know people were listening to it. And then I find out that I got this account on TuneCore that's got a few $1,000s in it, you know, from songs I'd written. So
Really?
yeah, and that just continued to grow, and you know, I mean, I think 2 years later we sold out Iron City back-to-back nights and sold out Georgia Theater back-to-back nights. So these record labels started to come down, and I'd never been to Nashville. I started coming up to take meetings, and it was really backwards in the way a lot of people do it, but it helped me because I ended up getting 4 labels to offer me. So it was kind of like getting recruited. I got taken to nice dinners, drank fancy wine, and it helped me sign a better record deal because of it.
That's incredible that, I mean, you just stuck with it for that long and kind of just...
Yeah, I wouldn't give myself too much credit, because if I had this as a goal, I'd probably gave up. But I was just doing it because it was enjoyable. And
when did you start writing?
I guess in high school I did it sort of for fun. We'd sit around campfires or something. I remember taking my guitar on baseball trips on the bus and making up songs about everybody when we were going down the road, you know. So it was just a hobby. And then, you know, as I started playing shows, I started thinking, man, this kind of song goes over well. Maybe if I can write a song like that. And I molded my songwriting after what really went over well at live shows, you know.
Sure.
Played a lot of like restaurants and bars and coffee shop type shows where people weren't there to see me, and I had to kind of win them over. And I think that helped me more than anything, especially writing, because I never felt like I was gonna make somebody sit their drink down because of my vocals. You know, I thought I could carry a tune well enough to maybe fool them into thinking I should be there.
I mean, I will say, like, your songs, I mean, do you write most of your stuff for the most part?
Yeah, I've written every song I've released so far.
That's awesome. I mean, and I will say, like, because I've been a fan for a long time, and your lyrics and the stories you tell, like, they resonate. They hit home all the time.
I appreciate it. I think that's probably more so because I wrote from home. You know, I mean, I didn't come here, and I say all the time, if I'd have moved to Nashville several years ago, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at, just because I feel like it'd be easy to, you know, not have success for a little while and start looking at what everybody else is doing. It's hard to have blinders on in this town because there's people having success all the time, and it's not necessarily doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, you know, going and writing with some writers that maybe this guy wrote with, or trying to write a song like this one that's on the charts. And I never did that because I just was writing for fans I saw every week. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people grew up the same way I did, and that's where that's where they can kind of feel those lyrics and put them into their own life.
Do you worry about writing in the future of being in Nashville and jaded and kind of living a different life, or I mean, I think that you probably get back enough that it's.
I'm very mindful of that, and I go home for that reason. My house in Alabama is 3 hours away, and I try to do a lot of my writing there. You know, I at least get a lot of my inspiration from there because. You know, there's not a lot that, like you talked about, a college kid going to Vanderbilt has in common with me growing up in Alabama, or most of my fans for that matter. You know, and it's tough when you're in this town because you can get caught up in what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, life's different for you now.
Yeah, but when I go home, it's not.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
I mean, I go home and my Uncle Wayne pulls up at the store and tells me that the lady at Huddle House daughter listens to me, and that's a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
You know?
Yeah.
And so, thanks. Tell her I said I appreciate it.
Build a confidence-boosting fall wardrobe with this season's collections of versatile mix-and-match styles from Express. Express is all new and made to express you. Use the hashtag ExpressYou to see all their confidence-boosting styles, unmatched comfort, and always the highest quality. And the Express soft sets are really a game changer. From their new silky suede scuba and luxe velour to the luxe sweaters and fleece sets, these cozy combos are the unofficial uniforms of fall. As that weather continues to change, you'll need to make sure you've got some nice new jeans too. It doesn't get much better than Express and their 4-way hyper stretch jeans. It's total comfort with 4-way hyper stretch fabric, fresh fades, and their comfort stretch waist. And you're always ready to go with Express essentials like tees, polos, and graphic tees. Plus everything is machine washable, so no dry cleaning, no sweat marks, just the perfect variety of both casual and style. Shop the latest confidence boosting styles in store and online at express.com. Everything from just hanging out to a big night out, you can find it all at Express. Be on the lookout for great deals in stores and at express.com. Express confidence. So you get to Nashville, you got four record labels vying for you.
Yeah.
How'd you pick the winner?
Not knowing much about anything helped me in that too.
Yeah.
I didn't know who was what.
You're probably just going off a gut at that point.
It was about just a feel I got from somebody, and I guess if there was anything business-minded about the decision, it was that I figured with me having a growing fan base and having a lot of people showing up at my shows, that the only thing that could hurt me is if I was put on a shelf somewhere. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to go somewhere I knew I was going to get to release music and really be a focus. So I paid a lot of attention to who they had on their roster. You know, there was a few labels that had a lot of guys that were sort of in my lane.
Yeah.
So, Warner Brothers had Blake Shelton.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get the big song before Blake gets it. You know, there's just stuff like that. So where I ended up at Big Machine, there wasn't anybody that was really doing what I was doing. And Jimmy Harnan was the president of that imprint at that label. He was just super fired up about it. Came to several shows. I remember them coming to Birmingham and me taking them to a bar after the show and me back behind the bar fixing drinks and them just drinking it and hanging out all night. These old guys just trying to hang, and just really trying to win me over. And I got the best feel from them and just felt like it was a good fit.
That's awesome. You were really smart about it. It sounds like you looked at it. You looked at it of the lens like, all right, like how am I going to succeed the most? Like who's in that lane? Yeah. Who's there? Like who's the record label have? Because
it was different for me because I felt like I had this other thing already. You know, as just a young guy that's good looking, maybe he can sing, comes in town and he gets discovered and the record label offers him a couple $100,000 to do, he's probably going to do it.
Yeah.
But he has nothing else to go by. And with me, I had this thing that was working, and it's this grassroots following from the Southeast of playing these shows and writing these songs. So I really looked at a record label as could only do one thing for me, and that was put a song on the radio. Mm-hmm. And I thought, man, if they put a song on the radio for me, it's only going to help this other thing.
Absolutely.
You know, so I kind of looked at them really separate. We always say 2 buckets. That was kind of my thing. Anything I can add to it with radio success was to get new fans. But I want to keep building and keep putting music out of these fans already had.
That's really good. So you signed with them.
I signed with Big Machine. Signed a publishing deal right around the same time. And, with Warner Chappell. Okay. And it was kind of the same thing. We got an offer from about everybody. Mm-hmm. And immediately went on radio tour for about 8 or 10 weeks.
It's the worst.
And you've heard about radio tour. It's tough on everybody, but for me it was a little bit, I want to say worse because I was already touring. Yeah. See, a lot of artists, you don't have a single on the radio yet. You don't have any fans. You don't play shows. Yeah. When you get a single at the charts, then you get asked to go out with somebody. Uh-huh. So I was already on my own headline tour. Yeah. So I was doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday shows with the band and then flying somewhere to Oregon or whatever and doing radio Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then flying back to meet the band the next week. So it was just constant.
Going.
And so I did that for 2 years, being on the road well over 300 days. I got asked to go on a tour with Brad Paisley. It was my first major tour, first of 3.
How was that?
It was great. He was awesome. I wrote I Wish Grandpa's Never Died during that time, and I can remember
great song.
Walking by his green room, or walking by my green room and hearing my band was all huddled around a phone watching somebody sing it. I was like, that voice sounds familiar, and go look, and it's Brad on his bus playing that song, put it on his Instagram.
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
And I mean, that's the type of guy he was.
Yeah.
I mean, I played a show one night, we had lightning, and I didn't get to play that song during my set, which my set was like 20 minutes, like 6 songs.
In and out.
And I didn't get to play it, and he called me on stage in his set to come play it with him. You know?
That's awesome.
So, I mean, just a great dude. It was a great first tour for me. I'm glad it was somebody that's, I don't know what the word is, not too wild, because I could have easily fell into that. They were pretty straight-laced camp, so it helped me out in that point too.
Kept you a little.
Yeah,
feet on the
I'm
ground.
a little older and a little wiser, but not
Not that much.
Not too much. Yeah.
No, I mean, there's I mean, like you said, if I was you and it would have happened to me in my 20s, it would have been a nightmare.
Well,
like
I
there's no telling what.
Jacksonville State wasn't quite like Vanderbilt, and I didn't have near the success that you did, but I can imagine what you went through in the same aspect. So it's
yeah.
Maybe the only thing you had on me as a benefit was social media wasn't quite what it is today.
Exactly. I mean, that's saving grace.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember whenever it was me and B. Marsh and Tony Scheffler and all these guys. We got to Denver in '06, and when we all got drafted out there, and we get paid a ton of money, and we're just single, running around, and it's like
I couldn't have done it with Tony.
Social media, with Tony.
I could have hung out with Tony up there.
Gosh.
I can't hang out with him now.
Like the things we got into it's just insane. And I mean, if social media was alive then like it is now, we'd be in.
It just takes a lot more mature, 19 to 20 whatever year old kid nowadays to be successful and stay out of trouble.
Oh yeah.
I was really eye opening for me. I played. I think I was on tour with Aldine down in Florida, and the Miami Marlins were doing their spring training in Jupiter, I think. And I had some kids reach out to me on social media, some players, and wanted to come down and take bat practice with me. So I went over there, and this one kid was like a number 7 overall pick.
Yeah.
And I started thinking, just really stand-up kid. He was put together, and it seemed like he had a good head on his shoulders. And I thought, man, at 19 years old, to make the money that he's made, be down in Florida, there's no way.
No.
I'd be dead or in jail. I don't know. I wasn't that smart.
I don't. Well, I mean, I think because I've got 3 kids, 9, 7, and 5, boy, girl, and my 9-year-old is so much. I mean, he's more mature now than I think I was at 15, 16 years old.
What's that from?
I think it's just the world we live in now. I think that these kids are exposed to so much more at an early age. I don't know if it's good or bad. But I definitely think that kids grow up so much faster than whenever I was a kid, and probably you as a kid too.
Yeah, well, I mean, your lifestyle and you having the fame and notoriety that you do probably spreads down to them as well, and they meet a lot of people.
They're exposed to a lot more. They're definitely exposed to a lot more than I was, but I do my best to kind of shelter them as much as I possibly can. But I mean, they go to school and YouTube, all this stuff is out there.
Yeah.
And they're on it. They're aware. I mean, the world is expanding really quickly, but it's getting smaller in the same thing, as you know.
It's a different time, and like I said, I'm really glad that my success was very gradual. I mean, I was a big deal in Jacksonville, Alabama for a few years before I was ever known outside of it. And then it was the Southeast, and so it was. I got to notice there were eyes on me when I was out. Before it was too late, I guess,
Did you played football? You played sports. Did you get the same? Did you get a bigger high playing sports or being on stage?
It's so comparable. I think the best example I could always give about people say, hey, "What's it like to be on stage? Somebody sing your song back to you." It's like scoring a touchdown or dunking a basketball or hitting a home run. It's that feeling, and that part doesn't get old. I mean,
can't get old.
Obviously, I'm in a spot that I'm very fortunate to have the success I've got, but I'm in a spot where I'm not quite big enough in my career to say no to certain things.
Have you said no to anything?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
Not much. But I'm also to the point of where we're a little bit valuable to go play some shows, and so because of that, we stay really busy.
Yeah.
And
which is a good thing.
It's great. The travel is the only thing about it that gets me. If I get on a plane and I'm just dead, and it's just an everyday constant thing. And that was a huge lifestyle change for me because I'd never been anywhere I couldn't drive to.
Yeah.
I'd never been on a plane before I signed a record deal in 18. So
first time I was on a plane was my freshman year at Vandy.
Wow.
Went to South Carolina.
I'm trying to get my timeline right because I remember you playing.
I was there like 2000, 2001 to 2006.
So you were right before Larry Smith, quarterback from Prattville, Alabama.
He was
He'd
there.
been a couple years. He was around my age because I did a quarterback combine with him.
Yes,
At
exactly.
Auburn, I think, my senior year.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Good ball player.
Yes, I mean, Larry was there. You know, it's funny you mentioned the LSU quarterback. There's so many guys that you just cycle through the names and in the Southeast. So it's
it's just the most eye-opening thing about playing a little bit of football in college, even at a Division I AA school, was that there's no shortage of good athletes. I had no idea. I knew that there would be a speed difference and a size difference, but we would have our recruits come in the fall, freshmen, and then we'd have a different team in the spring because you didn't have to sit out a year.
Yeah.
You had somebody that went to a junior college, somebody that didn't make grades or got hurt or got in trouble. They were, and I mean, we weren't last chance you by any means. We still tried to, get good folks down there, but still it was a lot of competition coming in from some big, even SEC schools.
really. Hey, I know there's a lot going on in the world right now, and this football season has been one of the biggest reliefs from all that craziness. So how about I make your day about 20% better? Yep, if you're a new FanDuel fantasy player and you use the code J when you sign up to play, my friends at FanDuel are floating you a 20% bonus up to $500. And all you have to do to claim it is make it your first deposit and plug my name, Jay. FanDuel is great. It lets you see new lineups each week so you're not stuck with the same players all season. And there's all kinds of contests at pretty much every level, and you can even play private contests with your friends if you just want to have a week full of smack talk. This week, I know everyone had high hopes for the Titans, and they're at Jacksonville this weekend. So this might be the week Julio Jones opens it up for Tennessee, and he's affordable at $6,700. He's due for a big game. Will Tom Brady's success throwing the ball continue against the Dolphins this week? They're home in Tampa, and Tom will earn you about $7,800. But against the Miami defense, he could have another huge week. And don't sleep on the Browns. They roll into L.A. to take on the Chargers. And Nick Chubb has been a scoring machine so far. His salary is right now about $8,000, but I think he's set up to be Cleveland's go-to weapon on offense. Experience season-long wins without season-long waits. Sign up today at FanDuel.com/J to claim your bonus and start playing today. That's FanDuel.com/J. All right, let's talk hunting. You duck hunt, you elk hunt, you deer hunt, you turkey hunt. Are you hunting anything else?
Man, I like all of it. People ask me what my favorite is.
What is your favorite?
Whatever season it is.
Yeah.
I'm pretty fired up about bow hunting now. I put off elk hunting for several years. Well, one, I don't have time to go put 2 weeks together for a trip, and you kind of need it.
Yeah.
I drew this year. We went to Montana, but I had 4 days.
Where'd you go?
Went just about 50 minutes east of Billings. A buddy of mine has bought a big 40,000 acre property, so we hadn't set foot on it. We had no eyes on it. So to go over there in 4 days and get on a herd of elk was pretty
hard.
tough. And we got close. I had a pretty good bull, probably 310, 320. Mm-hmm. Come in about 45 yards and wouldn't quite step out of some brush. But I definitely get it. I see the rush, but especially bow hunting. You're getting that close to an animal that big. And the similarities of turkey hunting, I definitely enjoy that.
That's what it's always been. I've got about 3,000 acres north of Bozeman, which I'm going flying out tomorrow.
I hope it cools off. My buddy's up there right now. He says it's been 98 right there. I'm just
really
south of Billings. Yeah, so I hope it cools off. For you.
So do I. But it's like, for me, it's like turkey hunting on steroids.
Yeah. That part of it I love because that was my big thing about turkey hunting was being able to interact and call them back and forth.
Talking back and forth with them.
And something I noticed from even this trip is I feel like people turkey hunting a big mistake I made, especially growing up, because I didn't have anybody really show me. It was.
Do you call?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was rolling hills. We're the foothills of the Appalachians right there in Jacksonville, so we have we call them mountains, they're hills. Oh. And so it was different hunting than down south where we're flat.
Yep.
And so it was finding out how important where you sit down is.
Yeah.
Like your setup. You're always wanting to get on a bird or get on an elk and get them fired up and call and get them to come in, but they're going to come in a certain way, and a lot of times it's the best way for them. Where they can see wherever that hen is.
Yeah, it's always the best way for them, for the most part.
But I always want to get where I can sit and see the longest. And that's not necessarily the way to do it. So I've screwed up in that aspect more often than not, and that was my first thing. We sat down in the wrong place for that elk. thinking he'd do this and he did this, and afterwards going, well, maybe we should have, you know. So
we've got a place. At my property, we've got a place that they love being down in this little valley, and it's to that point. It's really hard to call them and get them to come back up the hill.
Yeah.
Like they'll cross terrain and they'll do that stuff if you can get on the same level, but to pull them up out of there, like they just don't want to do it. And we've sat there numerous times just back and forth for hours.
Well, how many times you had a turkey hung up like that?
Oh gosh.
But I mean, even more so, an animal that big, you really want to look and go, okay, well, he's not going to walk through this.
No.
He's going to go right here. And
Yep.
they don't.
No. Last year, first we got there 10, 11. We went out that afternoon, and this elk, we called him, and we were down in that same valley spot, and he was actually about parallel with us, and came across. We were in the woods in the timber, and he starts walking across, and he was 6x6. He was a nice bull. Starts walking across, and I'm like, all right, and the guy calling for me, he's back here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, he's just gonna keep walking, 20 yards on this path and just cross me. I mean, broadside, be done. This damn elk walks, and then makes a absolute beeline straight through brush, trees, he's from me to the wall.
Yeah. Facing you.
And facing me, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? And I ended up drawing, and he took off. I'm like, that's the last place I thought this elk was going to go.
I had almost the exact scenario play out in Billings, and the one problem that I found was the guy calling directly behind you from the bull. I mean, he's going to want to go, but he's going to go.
He's going to want most of the time. I mean, it's amazing how their ears they know exactly where that call is.
I've always said that about a turkey. Is it? They know where that sound came from within about 10 yards.
Without
where it is.
Easily.
And I mean, with me, how many times you've heard a turkey gobble and say, "Oh, man, he's over the next ridge," and walk up there, you're on him. That part I can't comprehend how good they are at that. But
will you go back for gun in Montana?
I'm sort of committed to getting one with a bow now. My hunt got cut even a day short. We ended up going to the Cowboy Stadium and doing a show for Crown Royal on the 50-yard line.
I'd do that too.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if you were around when DeMarcus Ware was with the Broncos, but he was there. He kind of hosted the show. It was cool meeting him because he was Troy, Alabama, played at Troy, and that was our big rival.
He was Troy. Yeah. They had some dudes come out of there.
Oh yeah. Well, it's so far away from everything. I mean, Troy is 2 hours from anything down there in that middle South Alabama. Yeah, and it's just. That's the greatest thing about it for recruiting is you're drawing from a pretty big area, And
there's some dudes in Alabama that can play football.
Yeah, University of Alabama's done pretty well in recruiting the last few years, I think.
Yeah, I mean that thing that recruits itself at this point.
Yeah, I got a buddy that was the recruiting coordinator there for a while, and we played a show, and I went in Saban's office and met everybody, and he took me in. He said, "Man, you got to meet this guy. It's number 99. I can't remember his name, but he's a big country music fan." And, I'm 6'3", 6'4". At the time, I was working out pretty good. I was, 210. And they just swallowed my hand, shaking hands with me. I don't know how the size of players, the speed now, it's just every year.
It gets better. It's insane.
I can remember the first time I saw Derrick Henry in shoulder pads and shorts. Just that's a running back.
Yeah.
And he's
freak show.
6'3", whatever. I mean, I don't know.
And runs a 4.4 and just runs away from dudes.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, dudes are getting bigger and faster and stronger and all the things.
I'm in the air about how I feel about some of the rules that they've got in football now with the targeting and stuff because it makes it so tough on a defensive player. And even as a quarterback, I don't mind saying that because it is.
Oh, me too. I'm the same thing.
And the speed of the game and being able to put on the brakes when you're going to,
It's impossible.
But at the other side of it is man, people are so strong and so fast. And, I mean, not even just physical, but, workout regimens and, what strength and conditioning coaches are doing now. It's so to a science. I don't know that you don't have to do it.
I mean, someone, if you didn't have those rules, someone would probably get murdered out there.
You wouldn't have people playing 20-year careers in the NFL anymore.
Hell
you wouldn't
no.
have that.
I remember when I first got in the NFL, the quarterback rules were completely different.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was probably around the time that you got done that it really started to get...
Exactly.
Oh, that's
It's
tough.
exactly what happened. I look at it now, I'm like, damn, you can play forever. But I mean, that's just where the game is now. I mean, I think it's an imperfect science of trying to figure out, put this rule in place, don't put this rule in place, and keep it safe, but keep it football. It's just hard to do. So I mean, I'm glad I don't have to do it.
I struggled when I had 3 different head coaches in high school football, and we really didn't have a great football program. We had a great baseball program, went to state championship twice when I was there, good basketball program, but we were really struggling in football. And we had a coach come in that was really old school, and he worked us. We were 4A, and we had like 20-something players, ran everybody off.
Yep.
Had coaches standing at practice.
Everyone's playing both ways.
Yeah, and I mean, I played safety and quarterback, but we had ran the old wing, straight wishbone option.
I ran wishbone option in high school too.
And I mean, it was the only time I can ever remember back talking to coach in my entire career. We were doing 7-on-7 drills, and they just had come out with this tee that you took the ball off of, and it had a timer. And when it beeped, you were sacked. We're doing 7-on-7 drills, and I'm going through this right here before I throw a 1-receiver route. Maybe we send it back out, and there's 7 guys out there. I'm like, what the hell are we doing here? This is embarrassing. And I mean, we threw 4 times a game, and it was 4 touchdowns because they had 11 guys in the box. But it was so tough to go to college after that and have to read defenses again. Yeah. Because I just, play faked and threw it up.
Threw it to the one guy.
Yeah. So I had to relearn everything, but it was cool for me to see the speed of the game and also how much more went into it in college because we didn't have that, real heavy offensive playbook that you have when you get to that level.
Yeah, it definitely changes each level. I mean, it gets more and more complicated. Like now, the NFL now, when I first got in, third down, most of first and second down, like you can kind of pattern defenses. Like third and 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 10, 10 plus. Like defenses, they only had a certain package for each one of those. And now, when I left and got out, defenses were just, they were just spinning the dial, because analytics and everything got involved. And so they were like, well, as a defense coordinator, I don't want to be patterned. So like my 7 to 10 package, like instead of having 3 things, we're going to have 15, and we're just going to spin the dial and play whatever. And so it's really complicated now.
Would you say that you were a studious player? I mean, in the sense of now you see how much film everybody watches and really understands the defense and goes out and play. Because I wasn't. I mean, I can remember several times throwing a touchdown and coach going, "Why'd you throw it to him?" He was open.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I went kind of both ways with that. I did a lot of things just off of feel and gut. But I watched film. There's certain players that I know that be like, all right, like they would completely memorize a defensive package, 7 to 10, 4 to 6, like all that stuff, and first and second down. And like I would know it going into the game, and I'd be aware of it, but like I wasn't going to the line when it's 3rd and 8, going, all right, they're gonna play, X, Y, or Z. Like that. I wanted to see it, I wanted to feel it, and I wanted to just react. But I mean, some guys, they're completely the opposite way, and that just wasn't my game, really.
Yeah.
So you're on the road now.
Yeah, I'm on tour with Dirks Bentley. That tour goes through the end of October, and then I've got my first arena tour that I'm headlining. We sort of started it. We played a show at the Wharf in Orange Beach, sold out 10,000 people. I mean, I opened for I guess I opened for Brad Paisley there a couple years ago. And then we sold out the Tuscaloosa Amphitheater, which I opened for Alan Jackson there a couple years ago. So, and that stuff in the Southeast, I would call those hometown shows. Sure. Even though Orange Beach is 5 hours from where I grew up, it's still I spent so many years playing down there. And I'm kind of the hometown guy. Georgia's got all these guys that kind of piggybacked on each other. Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan, Cole Swindell sold merch for Luke, and Brantley Gilbert, all these guys. And there's not really a lot of country music artists from Alabama that are in the mainstream. And
10,000 people, that's a ton of tickets.
Oh, I couldn't believe it, and I mean, to be playing arenas this quick in the sense of, my career with radio. I mean, I've only had 2 singles out country radio now, so it's
really,
yeah, so it's
but the whole Spotify, iTunes, like all that stuff kind of changed the game, didn't it?
Yeah, if it wasn't for that and social media, I wouldn't be where I'm at. There's no doubt. It was very fan driven.
Yeah. So how many arenas are you doing?
I think I see Zach in there. You got any hand gestures? 10? 13.
13.
13. Nice, man. That was good. 13.
That's
mostly
awesome.
Southeast. But, it's just cool to be. I really can't comprehend that we're doing it. It's a pretty big deal to go from playing clubs to.
Who is anybody else opening?
A guy named Corey Smith. I don't know if you remember Corey Smith or not, from Georgia.
Yep.
And I used to open for Corey Smith all the time, so that's pretty cool for me. And a guy named Cameron Marlowe.
Okay.
A guy from Texas named Mike Ryan. I've been a big fan of for a long time. He's done some stuff with me before. So.
Do you get a say in that?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm very.
That's cool.
There's a lot of stuff I let everybody handle.
Yeah.
There's a lot smarter than me about that, but I've just, it's one of those things where Corey is a guy that I'd go see. I've just been a fan of him forever, and it's a little bit older demographic. I mean, it's guys my age, Most of my fans are in their early 20s, so it's. I just thought it was a good idea, and he's just, for me, it's like maybe they can sell tickets. If not, it'll make it a good show.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's. I kind of do everything, my decision making as a fan, so I'm not too far removed from just being one. So
that's a good. I mean, I would do the same thing.
yeah.
I mean, you want to put on a good show. You want people to enjoy it, and that's part of it.
Takes a little pressure off me.
Yeah. How'd the Dirks thing come about?
So I was supposed to be on tour with Thomas Rhett this year.
Yep.
Direct support for Thomas, and because last year was canceled, Cole Swindell was on tour with him last year, supposed to be, so he got pushed to this year. So the same day I found that out, Dirks called me, and he's very hands-on in the sense of his opening acts, and he's always trying to find the next kind of guy, somebody he's a fan of, and I mean I think Dirks has watched 90% of my set.
Really?
Every night.
Really?
So he's just, really hands-on with that and very, very supportive. I've been really fortunate to be on some tours with just great folks. Got a good camp, so it's been good.
How many more shows you guys got?
We go through October, so I would imagine we've got 2 or 3 more weekends.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Are you guys doing Ice Bass?
Not anymore. I did mine.
You did one?
I did one.
And quit?
Yeah.
Why?
No, I did it. Now, I stayed the whole time.
Is Dirk still doing it pretty religiously?
I don't know what he does with his time, but I'm not doing it anymore. I did one with him. That was it.
Tell me about it.
It was horrible. I played ball, but I was the guy that hung around in the back while they're doing all that and tried to sneak out. That's not my thing. But we got in the ice bath, and I think we filmed it for CMT, and it was, it wasn't miserable. But
how long were you in?
About 10 minutes, I guess. It was enough to get numb.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're numb in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, but no, that's not my thing. He can have that.
I've talked to him many times about it, and there's a guy named Wim Hof, and there's this whole. Did he talk about the whole breathing and stuff like that?
Yeah, and I've got a buddy down in Florida that had somebody come over and teach that. Like, we did some pool workouts, breathing exercises in the pool, and we did some laying down in the grass, which I wasn't a big fan of. The guy was saying breathe in positive and breathe out all the negative. I don't really get into that stuff, but I will say that the breathing stuff, there's something to it. I can remember doing that, doing some hot cold therapy, and feeling like I just drank an energy drink. Yeah. It really gets you going, some blood going. So
absolutely,
there's probably something to it. I remember thinking that if I had a cold tub in my house, would I go get in it?
You wouldn't.
Somebody wasn't, man, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't do it.
No.
I'm on the verge of about to buy a cold tub, but you do get to a point where it's like, you know what, this is gonna suck.
You think that you're gonna get up in the morning and go get in a cold tub?
I'll tell you what, we've got a pool, and in the winter, I'll go out, I'll work out, hit the sauna, and then I'll get in the pool, and it's 40 degrees or whatever it is. I know. Here's the thing. I know you felt probably amazing after it, right?
It was great.
Felt
awesome.
great. Yeah.
I don't know if it was worth it.
And that's the thing. I know that I'll feel amazing afterwards. So I just got to buckle up and be like, all right, just quit being a baby about it and just do it, because I think there are benefits, but to your point, it sucks.
It sucks. Yeah. No, I don't doubt there's something to it, and I mean, I'd just be late because I talked myself into it. I'd be late everywhere I was trying to go in the morning.
I know. Yeah, I mean, after I'll sit out there after I work out, and I'll be looking at the pool, and I'm like, I want no part of this.
Yeah.
But let's just do it.
My workout regimen over the last few years is changed quite a bit. It's a lot less extreme in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I'm trying to maintain and keep things from falling off of me at this point. Not necessarily trying to go out and kill myself. So shoulders are starting to get sore and back and everything else. It's a different ballgame for me.
Yeah, I mean, give yourself another 5 years and you start. I mean, I mean, you stay in shape and stuff, so like you'll be fine. But the whole game kind of changes as you get a little bit older, and you kind of figure out like what you need to do, what you don't need to do, and
Yeah, I will say that aspect of elk hunting appealed to me.
Yeah.
I felt like I was working out.
Oh, hell yeah.
13 miles a day.
yeah.
That was I enjoyed that part.
I was just telling the guys in the office, I was like, I'm probably gonna lose 8-10 pounds when
Yeah.
I come back because like I'm gonna be getting it, and that was the elevation. Like it's gonna hurt the first day. I know it is.
Oh, yeah. We got on a herd one evening and it got dark and just looking down, I'm like, just how far we are from the side by side, and it was like 4.3 miles. It's like a 2.5, 3 hour hike back in the dark. That moment was
Yeah, you got to decide like, do I really want to chase this and end up 6 miles in the dark doing
so
this?
easy to do though.
Oh,
you hear one bugle and you forget everything in the world and head out.
Gone. 'Cause
Yeah.
my phone barely works out there, so like I hear something and I'm like, let's go.
If I couldn't see as far as you can out there,
Yeah.
I'd be lost in a second.
Yeah.
Because I forget everything else in the world's going on when I go after one, hear something bugle or gobble. Same way.
That's the well, I mean that's the beauty of it. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Well, cool, man. Tour's going. Arena tour's going.
Yep. We got a few more Dirks shows. My tour is called the We Out Here Tour. It'll start right after Dirks in October.
Get tickets.
RallyGreenMusic.com.
RallyGreenMusic.com. Instagram.
Rally Duckman on Instagram.
How'd you come up with that name?
I guess it's because I was big into duck hunting about 16.
Uh-huh.
Maybe Rally Green was taken. I don't know.
Did you make it when you were 16?
I mean, yeah, whenever that was.
Whenever it came out?
Whenever it became a thing, I got one
You
like
got
everybody
one.
else, you know. But yeah, you can find out about anything you need to on there at RallyGreenMusic.com, and we'll probably try to get in the studio in the next month or so and maybe put out some new music. So
You've been writing a lot?
Yeah, more so, especially the last few weeks. You know, my thing's like if I spend a month on the road, I put my guitar in the corner. I don't want to look at it again until I have to. So a little time off goes a long way with me.
Oh yeah, that's part of it. You gotta pick and choose when you can't grind forever. Well, cool. I appreciate it, man. It was fun. Good luck with everything. Love your music. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah, maybe we can chase something this year.
I'd love to.
It cools off a little bit.
Let me know.
Good luck in Montana. I hope you get one.
Awesome.
Appreciate it,
bud.
Yes, sir.
So that's a wrap. Riley's gone. I enjoyed it. We talked country music. We talked hunting. We talked football. We talked all the things I think I probably enjoy. So I hope you liked it. Check him out. He's a really, really good dude. I think he's very grounded. Went through his phase in life where he was having fun like we all do, just like myself. But I think he's kind of figuring some stuff out. His career is really important to him. He's hunting, fishing, singing songs, giving the people what they want. So, like he said, he's on tour with Dirks for the next couple of weeks, and then he's doing his own arena stuff, which will be fun. And new music coming out here soon, Spotify, Apple, the whole thing. You know where to find him, Riley Green, Riley Duckman on Instagram. Check him out. A lot of fun. And again, hit us up. We've got some fun stuff coming. I mean, I think I've said this after every podcast, the last 3. Like, we've got a Bigfoot guy coming on that, honestly, I can't wait. And then I'm tracking down some alien people, so we'll keep doing what we're doing. So thanks for watching, listening. If you have anything that you need to express to me and I need to improve on, fire away. I'm an open book and just trying to give you whatever you need. See you next time.